Welcome. I'm Angela Hughes, a luxury travel entrepreneur, and we are doing a special edition today in the Luxury Travel University. And I'm here to welcome to our show today, Danielle Dormand and Ira Bloom. So let's start with Danielle Dormand from Index Select. It's so exciting to have you on. Tell us a little
Thank you so much, Angela. It was we're super happy to be here and be live with you. And I was super happy to meet you recently too in our neck of the woods, which is fun. But I'm, as you said, Danielle Dormand, co-founder of Index Select, coming live from my living room in Long Island City, New York. And I have a wonderful collection of partners around the world. We're a boutique collection, which I'm hoping a lot of viewers are familiar with our collection. We have a heavy DMC portfolio with a couple properties and some specialty product. And I would be happy to kind of share all of those or run down our partners, but I'm sure you know some of our DMCs, Experience Morocco, Exclusively Malta, Namu Travel. And I'm happy to be here with one of our partners today, Ani Private Resorts, which does get a lot of love and attention.
Yeah.
Ira Bloom.
But so just let Ira introduce himself real quick, and then we're going to come back to your portfolio, and then we're going to flip back to Ira for a minute. So,
okay. Sure. Hi, I'm Ira Bloom, CEO of Ani Private Resorts. I'm coming to you from my deck here in Anguilla, where we founded the company. That's where we opened our first of the collection in 2010. And actually, for the first time ever, which I can talk about a little bit, I'm actually stuck at home, which we've never been on lockdown before in Anguilla, but on for a 2-week period here.
And you know, most people are like, "Oh, that's a tough life. We hate you with that background."
I can't. Well, we had it extremely good. Been living like as if COVID didn't exist for a year. Yeah. We had our first kind of community spread. It's small. It seems like it's over now. We've had no cases for several days. But any case, it's not the worst place to be stuck. Where I've been stuck for the most part over the past year and a half. But it is our headquarters.
Okay, well, I'm super excited to have you on because you have some really fantastic private residences that just really knock it out of the park. So, okay, let's go back to Danielle really quick. Danielle, tell us a little bit about your portfolio and what you have.
Great. Okay. And I also wanted to, I feel like just touching on representation and how I can help in what we do. I feel like I get that question so much. And so just wanting everyone to know that we Index Select is the resource for the travel advisor. Like we always joke that our partners, Ira, are the ones that pay us, but we work for the travel advisor, right? Just making sure they have what they need and just supporting you with any requests that you have and picking up the phone and the knowledge. So we've had Index Select is almost 6 years old. My business partner, Tyler Lamont, and I, he lives in San Diego. I live in New York. And then Waja Dubey is our Africa specialist. So we do have an Africa segment within our portfolio. So Waja manages the 4 partners for Africa, which are African Bush Camps, Lanzarote, the Zanzibar Collection, and Finch Hattons. And then just to kind of quickly recap the partners that Tyler and I oversee and manage would be our DMCs, right? Adriatic Travel Collection, Cuba Candela, Exclusively Malta, Experience Morocco, Namu Travel, Tailored Spain, Pearson Leslie, Touch of Spice, Davita Tours, and you know what? I'm actually going to say it now. Somebody that we have just signed, Crafted Ireland and Hummingbird. So those are our DMCs. We love talking about destinations because there's just so much to talk about with the destination, right? And then with our properties, we have Cheval Blanc Paris, Cheval Blanc St. Bart's, Terranea. And then our specialty is Quasar and Ani Private Resorts. And so we're really just love talking about all of our clients because they're very, very different. And Angela, I know you've had the kind of pleasure of working with a few of them now and just knowing that our partners are all boutique. That's kind of our style as well, that you can speak to a manager or an owner immediately, but there's not like 27 layers of like corporate anything. They're very boutique. They work with us. Like we really care a lot about synergy too. It's really important to us that they're going to work well with the advisor.
Yeah, you have like such an amazing collection. I mean, the list of those names are, I think, some of the best DMCs in the business. And so
I think that's
I put your information right here on the bottom of the screen for people to be able to reach out to you.
This is so cool.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's move over to Ira for a minute. So I'm gonna pop you off the screen for just a minute, and I'm gonna go full screen with him. Switch names here. Let's move right into your products for a minute and tell us all about your brand and what you've got going.
Sure. So we are what we call a collection of private resorts. They're large kind of Uber villas is a way you kind of explain it, but fully staffed like a resort. So executive chefs, general managers, massage therapists, tennis pros, everybody on staff all year round, all cater to one group in residence. So our concept is always a buyout concept, and catering to groups and friends and families that are traveling for milestone celebrations, big birthday celebrations, multi-gen family reunions is our total focus. So, when you're thinking of us, it's when you do have a group of friends and family traveling for some reason or the other.
Okay, when we're group, what size are we talking?
So each of our residences is between 10 and 15 bedrooms, depending on destinations. We started the collection in Anguilla, as I noted before, in 2010. Our resort here is 10 bedrooms. We opened our 2 resorts in Asia in 2016, Thailand, which is 10 bedrooms, and Sri Lanka, which is 15 bedrooms, our largest. And we opened in Dominican Republic in 2017, and the resort there is 14 bedrooms. So you're looking at between 20 and 30 people. Our average size group is probably between 15 and 20 guests is our
Okay, so let's just say, because this is a question I know everybody's wondering, let's just take Dominican Republic. If they were to buy out that whole residence, throw us out an average price so the viewers know what they're looking at, which we know
so
we're not
looking at. Well, I can give you in the summer, our summer rates this summer is 13,000 plus. It's like 10% service at all of our resorts. Dominican Republic happens to be 18% tax, and so that's for the whole 14 bedrooms, say up to 28 adults plus 6 kids. The 13,000 plus per night would cover that. And the other kind of unique thing about us rate wise is that we are pretty all inclusive. So the food, drinks, massage treatments, laundry, cooking classes, pretty much everything that our staff deliver for our guests is included in the rates. And when you're talking about groups of friends and families that are traveling together, that structure works so much better that whoever's paying the bill isn't worried about counting drinks and what are their guests racking up in charges, and is there going to be any surprises or padding of the bill? So we take that headache out of the equation.
And the privacy that you've got. I mean, I have a group of probably 25 or 30, and that's why I was kind of even asking for the Dominican Republic. That's where they want to go, but you could easily guide it into this product so easily.
It is for our like agent advisors, we're a pretty easy one-stop solution for them because we have a team. There's a full-time staff, say in Dominican Republic is around 30 staff, including our general manager and his whole admin and logistics staff. So as far as booking activities, nighttime activities, entertainment, putting together a whole itinerary for your guests, our team is there to help you do that. And I think for us, it's almost as if every group is almost like an event. We do tons of weddings, tons of big birthdays, 40th, 50th type of birthdays. But even just a big multi-gen group coming away, for us, it is like an event, almost like a wedding that, we move around dinners in different places to make, each dining experience special and it become more of a celebration type of experience.
Okay, so destination weddings is a really interesting point there. I mean, can you handle everything that a resort could handle for a destination wedding?
I think it's more just a size. It's more just a size question. So we're really focused more on the smaller destination weddings, although we've done up to 65 in Anguilla. I think we've done up to 80 in Dominican Republic and close to those numbers in Sri Lanka and Thailand as well. So we have the facilities to be for hosting, events probably up to 100. But as far as where our real sweet spot is, where we, fit in the kind of destination wedding market is say 20 to 35 guests, we're perfect. Because then everybody who's attending the wedding can stay on property. And the other thing, it's actually a super economical way to do a destination wedding because everything's already included in the rate, food, drinks. So the wedding dinner, the wedding drinks, all of that's actually included within the lodging rates. So for the couple themselves, if they were having their guests pay for their own rooms, which would be the case at a resort, it's almost as if the wedding is free as far as food, drinks, and all those things. So it actually becomes a quite economical way to do a true luxury destination wedding.
So do you bring in someone on the side to help them with like the decor and stuff of the tables if they want?
It depends. As I said, for us, almost every group is like an event. So we have a whole arsenal at each of our properties of decorative items, string lights. We have florists we work with locally. So if somebody wanted, say, a simple, elegant wedding, there's almost nothing we need to bring in. And our team are used to doing that on their own all the time. Once you're getting into a kind of a bigger gala type of event, we have specialists that will bring in, as I said, florists or even wedding planners, or we're happy to work with a couple's own wedding planners if they're bringing them from overseas and can connect up their wedding planners with local professionals to do things. So we've done the full gamut. For a nice, elegant, simple wedding, there's almost nothing we need to bring in from the outside other than music. But we've done extreme, kind of heavily planned. We just had a group actually came in for 10 days for an event. They brought in containers and containers and even flew in florists from the States and everything. So kind of the whole gamut is part.
Interesting personal question. I know you've got a real varied lifestyle because you lived in Asia for many years, but you're also a musician. Do you ever play weddings?
Well, yes, I'm not. I'm not who they'd want at a wedding.
Okay.
But it depends if they really want more folk classic rock. But yes, somehow I've been a musician for of my life. Ended up island where there's a ton of live music, a ton of great fun local beach bars and things where there's always music happening. So it's been part of the reason why I kind of ended up here in 2003 and haven't left since.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, now I know that you've got some slides to show us about your resort.
Yeah, sure. I can let me show you a little bit of what I see if I can share here. So you see. There, I think. Do you need to enable me to share?
I don't.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me.
You got that?
Yeah. Now I've got it up there. So.
Oh, hold on. Pull it back up. There you go. You can see okay?
Yeah, here we go.
So that's an intro, that kind of gives you a quick snapshot of our 4 residences. We built them all from the ground up. I ran around looking for pieces of property that I thought were really wow. So we're looking more for amazing pieces of land than necessarily closest to the airport or closest to other big developments. So we are often a little bit off the beaten path, but as you can see, I think we found some pretty amazing slots to put the properties in. Kind of a quick kind of intro to our concept, where we feel we fit in the market is, we're offering all this privacy of a villa of your own, but with all the staff, services, amenities, everything that a full 5-star resort would come with. And, all of a sudden, we've been operating on this concept for over 10 years now, but we feel better positioned than we ever have. We're having our best year ever by probably a long shot in the Caribbean. We've been open since July in Dominican Republic and been booked almost completely solid. And I think in this, post-COVID world where people, I think, are loving the chance to get away with people they haven't been able to connect with and do it in a safe way, having their own bubble of a place, I think is more attractive than ever.
Right.
We kind of talked about a few of our kind of key niche parts of the business where we focus on. Multi-gen has always been our most important part of our business. We expect it to continue to be so, but these friends and couples trips, 40th birthdays, 50th birthdays has become a real significant piece of our business. Right now we're tracking like 1 out of every 4 inquiries for us over the past 2 months is either a 40th birthday or 50th birthday. We've had a couple 60th. We just booked a 70th and a 90th birthday over the past month. And I think, making up these celebrations that they have missed, getting back together with their friends, it seems to be a huge driver, especially to our 2 Caribbean resorts. We talked about small destination weddings, but likewise events and corporate retreats, work great. With all of these groups, having a place to yourself, not having to worry about curfews, making too much noise and getting dirty looks from the other guests at the place. For us, it's always is a buyout. So I think it opens a door to really be able to let your hair down and let loose.
Right.
I noted we have these full staffs at each place. Is a snapshot of our Thailand resort where we have like 23 staff in total. And I think what makes us unique from, say, the villa product, not only the amount of staff that we offer, but also that the staff is hired full-time all year round. I think a lot of the villa product you may find They'll have 2 or 3 staff. If you're staying at, say, a villa at one of the resorts, you wouldn't have a whole team like this dedicated to you. And for larger villas, they may have a smaller staff, but hire in people as needed when they're booked. For us, we keep them employed full-time, 12 months a year.
It's like on the Thailand property. I feel like people would want to know that, if you give us an average on that.
You talk about the rates?
Yeah, like what's an ideal rate like in Thailand?
Sure. I'm going to pull down to my rate sheet for that property here. Opening.
I love the idea that you keep them on, the staff on all year long too.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. We feel for the level of service synergies. Our team. I hired in a management team out of the Amman resorts, a few that have been working with them for a long time. So they really set up a lot of our whole hospitality operation that we have in place. So I think you'd find a lot of similarities between us and the Amman from a service perspective, although our experience is so much different. We're really where you come to let your hair down with friends, family, party, make noise, kids, everybody. So it's a more fun party for sure. I'll kind of run you through Thailand very quick. We're on a small island called Koh Yan Noi, which is like 30 minutes from Phuket. It's, not so far from there, but you feel like a world away. It's super relaxed island. There's only a few thousand people. You can see here, like all the places, have worked with an amazing group of architects. That's one of the masters that have their own private pools inside them. I'll get each of the rates here for Thailand.
I kind of watched this and I'm crying like we haven't been to Thailand in a couple of years.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, this island, if you haven't been to Koh Yan Noi, it's a super special island. Obviously, if you're coming with a group, we're the place to go. But there's a great Six Senses that's right next door to us, and some other cute places. And it's just, you feel worlds away. You have the amazing kind of Thai warmth and amazing Thai food, but just away from the craziness you find in some of the other highly developed areas. So this is showing you our rates, which, we have summer, winter, and festive. Is that large enough? Can you see that?
I can see it. Yeah. Hopefully the viewers can too, but they can zoom in.
Okay. So in any case, it is, we start at, 4 suites is our lowest published rate, going up to 10 suites. And those rates, so you're getting the benefit of a buyout no matter what. We're not renting to, any other people if you don't take all the rooms, but it's nice you don't have to pay for all the rooms you're not using. Yeah. If you look at the rates, your per room rate goes down the more rooms that you're ending up taking, but at least you're not having to pay if you are coming with a smaller group. So, we're starting at groups as low as 8 people for there. Gives you some sense. Yeah.
And so really your average daily rate is right on with like what you'd be paying in luxury travel.
Yeah, I think we're pretty, we're not positioned as clearly we're not the most expensive product in the market. We're offering what we think is great value and experience in the luxury space, without totally breaking the bank, especially when you consider everything that we include.
Well, really, if you're looking at 4 suites of 4,800, divided, you're really looking at 600 a person per day.
Exactly.
That you're paying that at dumps in Mexico.
Yes.
I would say they're dumps.
Yeah, so we agree. Look, I think for us, as I said, it is, we don't, we think service experience wise, we think we're tough to beat. But rate wise, we are bringing great value, and we're trying to cater to, not only the Uber, high net worth individuals, although we do cater to plenty of them. And they're a big piece of our repeat customer base. But when it's, instead of taking 3 or 4 rooms, 5 rooms at a Four Seasons or something like that, here you can have a place to yourself with a lot of the same level of service and a lot more included.
Right. Okay, let's keep rolling through. I got a sidetrack there for a minute.
I could show you. We could go through. I don't know if you're interested in looking at some of the details of some of the other resorts. I think I could show you a bit about our Dominican Republic resort, which is our newest resort.
What's your most popular resort? What do you feel like is
right now, by far Dominican Republic, which I'll get to in a second. Only one, because it's been open since July. I think Americans have so ready to travel already for a while. And so, DR is one of the places that was simplest to travel to as an American. As soon as they opened in July, there was no restrictions. There's never been restrictions for Americans. Very simple kind of testing process. We were probably more strict than most of the country as far as what we were requiring for testing, to kind of keep our staff and our guests safe. And we test our staff regularly. But this has been by far our most popular. It's 14 bedrooms. So you can see we have our own kind of private peninsula. And for groups, which we're just feeling this trend of people wanting to gather with more than just their immediate family now. And so, our average size in DR group is probably 20, but we're getting plenty.
When I first talked to you, I was kind of thinking more villa. And I'm not kidding. This really is a private resort.
Yeah, I mean, when you can see here, when you look at the kind of facilities that we have, we have a gym and spa structure. We have 2 treatment rooms there. We have 3 therapists, full time on staff. We have these 2 huge water slides on properties. You see massive decks and entertainment spaces. That's our kind of little bay that we have. We have kayaks, paddle boards, underwater scooters, an activity specialist that kind of leads towards on those as well. That's some of our area beaches there. This is our arrival pavilion. In the distance there, it was structured as an event pavilion that we built just for doing big parties and entertaining. All of our resorts, I think one interesting thing is that we're master bedroom biased. So in a place like DR, which is 14 bedrooms, 10 of the bedrooms are masters. And then we have 4 guest suites that are more the kids' room. And that's, works great because we're always dealing with 8 couples, 10 couples, that everybody can have their own master. And so for groups in that way, it is more like a resort that each of the bedrooms is like a suite. I mean, another thing interesting is you can see the seam in the frame there. We have flexibility across our collection that all rooms can be either a twin or 2 twins or a king. So if we're doing a women's yoga group or 2 teenagers that are having to share a bed. And this is showing kind of the main gathering spaces, which are awesome, when it's a big group getting together. A huge bar that we keep staffed, and pool tables, game tables, indoor, outdoor dining. They're great spaces to be together. That's one of the 2 big water slides in the property, which we built for kids, but definitely gets used just as much by the adults. And a blast. That's one of the 2 pool decks there. So when you're looking at it, as you say, it's our DNA, comes from villa and that experience of having a place to yourself. But as far as the facilities, we are at what we feel another level.
And what's your location in the Dominican Republic for this one?
So we are on the center of the North Coast, Puerto Plata being the closest airport where you can fly from Miami and New York nonstop. But you can also drive not so far from Santo Domingo and Santiago as well. But we're 5 minutes from the Amanera. So if you're familiar with that location, our part of the country is a lot less developed. There's no big all-inclusives. It's becoming a little bit of a luxury focus because of the Aman that's there. The Discovery Land Group, which owns Baker's Bay and the Yellowstone Club, they own all the land, including the Aman and the golf course there, and they're building a bunch of luxury homes. And there's another place called Playa Grande, which is quite cute resort. And so it's just like a low density, luxury focus of development there. Right, safe and quiet part of the islands. Here you see the rates in DR are pretty similar to what you saw. In Thailand, it's just running up to 14 suites.
Okay. So give me, just because we just have a few more minutes, give us a look at Anguilla really quick. And we did Thailand. So you have 4 properties, you said.
4 properties. So Anguilla.
And where's the other one? So we have Thailand, Dominican, Anguilla,
and Sri Lanka.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
So this is our resort in Anguilla. We're a clifftop property right above this great beach called Little Bay. This resort's 10 bedrooms. If you're not familiar with Anguilla, it's my home, but that is to die for. It's just to die for looking at that. It's a great place. I can't, it's funny because we started the business in Anguilla, and when we first started to go look at other locations, and I, living in China all those years, I traveled extensively in Asia and been to Thailand, which I love. But when I first left Anguilla, I was like, you know what? like most places, like the beaches just aren't as great. And if it's a place with great beaches like the Maldives, you don't have all the great restaurants accessible to you. And the people are, so warm and friendly. So the combination of just, the people, the safety, the restaurants, and the food, it's hard to beat. And it's got us stuck here for a while. But we set up our guests on any beach on the island. We do what we call our Beach Butler experience, where our whole team sets up big beach barbecues, and our executive chef suites that you see there is who everybody goes gaga for. He trained in New York. If you're familiar with 11 Madison and Union Square Cafe and Stone Barns chef suites, did training at all of those. And he's kind of become our executive chef for the group as well. This spot, Anguilla, if a soft spot, this is our first that we built, but it does look pretty brand new though, even though it is 11 years old now. We got heavily damaged by Irma in 2017. We shut down for 6 months, did a $1.5 million kind of repair / renovation, did everything we were planning on doing to upgrade the place anyway. And so again, it's looking pretty brand new. This picture was taken 2 summers ago of the place. What a neat whole cliff top. The view is pretty awesome. Our experience.
Danielle in New York, just Phil. So,
yeah. So Danielle has us. We're looking for land. We're buying Danielle a piece of land and building her a house down here, expecting her to move down here in the next couple of years. She's become a huge Anguilla fan.
I know. Okay.
So I'll show you quickly. I'll jump to. I could jump to our Sri Lanka property. How are we doing on time? Okay.
We've got a few more minutes for you, and then we're going to jump back to Danielle.
All right, I'll show you real quick. Here is Sri Lanka. If it opens. There you go. So this is our largest property on a great long stretch of beach where there is no other development. So you rarely ever, you may see some like village women that are husking the coconuts to make twine, but otherwise you're not seeing anybody else on the beach there. Resort, it's 2 huge, massive pool decks. I think on scale wise, very similar to DR. On this great bluff, again, the spa, gym, all the facilities that you'd be finding every place else. Our architect here, French Algerian guy who also designed the Namhai in Da Nang, which you may have heard of. He's done a Cheval Blanc, done a number of resorts in the Maldives. He's probably our most highly renowned hospitality architect. Did the spaces and the scale of the places also.
Yeah, the design's amazing.
Awesome. Pretty neat place and massive pools and pool decks. This is the gentleman you see in the picture, Yeshi Funcho. He runs our hospitality operation. He was with the Aman for many years, was the number 2 in Bhutan for them for a number of years, joined us to run our Sri Lanka resort, but he now oversees the whole hospitality operation based out of Thailand. That's a piece of his team there. So that gives you a quick look at the place.
Is this property open to buy now? I mean, because Sri Lanka, you can only use designated hotels, right?
Yes, so we're part of the level 1 certified, we were part of the first, being that we had this like real lucky quick story that Thailand, when the pandemic started, we had a family from China who didn't want to leave. So for March, April, and May, they stayed with us. It was a family of like 8 people. And so we put in place all of our protocols and systems for how we were going to operate in the pandemic. So by the time we were opening in Dominican Republic in July, we had everything set up, ready to go to operate there. Likewise, in Anguilla, we were one of the first to get approved for opening. And so in Sri Lanka, it was a no-brainer for us to get started. So we are open in open in Sri Lanka, open in Thailand, open in Anguilla, and Sri Lanka. Thailand, we're waiting on. Thailand, we're expecting to open in July. We're fully functional and catering to domestic clientele. Yeah. But hopefully we'll get word that the country's opening soon.
Okay. And surprise, we're back with Danielle. I should have gave you some notice, but how this operates, we just pop you on the screen. Yeah. Well, Ira, all of the properties are so amazing. And I'm so glad we just went through that, because I was really feeling like it was maybe like 1 villa, 2 villa, I've seen your name popping around. It's so much more. It's an entire experience. So
And I think if I could just like, obviously Ira covers everything, and being his representation in the U.S. and knowing Ani so well, I just think some points for advisors too is that obviously it sells itself, but when it comes to commission, you're also making commission on F&B activities. Like you're making commission on everything. Whereas if you were to outsource, like have a bill and outsource stuff, you would miss out on money. And also you don't have to, take up the whole property. I love how it's like, if you just needed X amount of rooms, like that can also be done. I just think it's such a unique concept and still something that nobody else is doing. So I love that. But just commission wise, I think it's always good to think that your commission is
okay, so let's talk, because we are often, I mean, we're showing this in other groups, but what are some marketing strategies that people can use, Ira, to sell this property, because it's so different than.
I think, look, for us, I think for what we're seeing, in the past, I think there was a lot of the luxury traveler that was hesitant about the villa market. There's always the villa business was a bit more niche. And I think people were worried about leaving like the confines of a brand. And I think now, I mean, one, you're seeing a lot more interest in villas in general. But once you do have a group of 10 to 30 people that are traveling together, I think this private resort experience is such, a easier way to travel for your clients. Is not just, obviously we'd love the business and we think we do, better job than anybody else, but having a place to yourself that's fully staffed, whether it's us or, another fully staffed villa. I think the ease of being together with a group, as opposed to being in a resort where what time are we meeting, where are we getting together? And it's constantly the jigsaw like trying to spend time together. So
No, I was saying I hate the whole thing of like trying to figure out dinner reservations and if a massage is open that day and so forth. This cuts down on so many.
And sorry, I was just gonna say personally, like having visited just once or twice or like 5 times, I think it's also nice that like you kind of, I know this is a really silly thing to think of, but you can like leave your stuff everywhere. It's your home, so you kind of have your sandals over here. You walk over, like lunch is ready. Like you're not even worried about anybody else being around. You truly treat it like it's your house, and the staff make so much money because everyone falls in love with them. They're literally there just for your group, and there's so much to be said about somebody that just knows your coffee order. They're not worried about anybody but your family. It's a whole different feeling and experience being like so close with the staff as well, which I think is nice.
So I guess that leads to like tipping. Is it all inclusive of tipping, or are people tipping separately, like per transaction?
So there is a 10% service charge that's assessed, for all our resorts that does 100% goes to the team. And they have like their method for how it gets shared amongst everybody. Anything above that is optional. We definitely, we try to dissuade people from tipping like on property. We just don't want the staff to be, and in general, the staff, try to dissuade the guests from doing that. They don't need to be carrying cash on them or anything while they're with us. And we normally recommend if the guests are so inclined to leave a group tip. That then gets shared amongst the whole group. And that's the norm. I mean, most of our guests do tip over and above. We can give guidance if somebody wanted, but we had the gamut. And the staff is, as Danielle mentioned, our staff kill it. I mean, it's like crazy, the tips they get. I think a lot of the reason the staff get such huge tips, not only because they really are what makes the experience special, but also the inclusive rate structure. Our guests are always shocked, even though they knew that everything's included, like that they're not getting this massive incidental bills at the end. So all of a sudden they feel like, they got such a great deal on it. And just, let's just talk like marketing strategies. I just think I highly recommend the advisors, to convince their clientele that are traveling with groups to give them the comfort to leave for those that seem to be married to the bigger operators, like, getting a villa at the Four Seasons or getting a villa, at some other large complex. I think that they're missing out on a lot of the kind of care that a fully staffed place can get them, either with us or someplace, that I think the trend, is going to be away from some of these, larger places when you are traveling with a larger group, and for the advisors to have confidence, to look at some of these other places outside of the big brands.
Well, I do think that you get into this trap that you feel like only Four Seasons can deliver like the service or the brand. And there's a whole world out there of amazing properties. This is so unique. I mean, I have to say, like I talked to different properties, different, accounts, everything twice a week generally in this group. And I'm so amazed and shocked at just how unique this is. Where it really is a resort, but it's not a villa, but it's not a huge resort. It's just, it really is a private resort. I love how you've just coined that as your term. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, we're encouraging others to use the term. For us, it's like, we think, I know the normal thought process for a group when they are traveling is they're first thinking, where do they want to go geographically? Like, oh, we want to go to Mexico, or, we want to go to Cabo, or we want to go. And then they're thinking, okay, now where should we stay when we go there? We want the thinking to change. If you're going with a group of 10 to 30 people, first should be saying, okay, well, I definitely want to stay at a private resort. Now, which private resort should I go to? And I think that when you are traveling with a group, once somebody does experience it, either with us or somebody that's offering kind of a similar product, I think it's very hard to go back to not having a whole team and a place to yourself.
Yeah. Do you have any future new destinations opening?
Yes, we have land in Panama already, in Bocas del Toro. We have a 90-acre beachfront piece of land there that will be built. And we're looking at different locations. We're looking at the west coast of Mexico because we have kind of now a growing client base from the West Coast that are bugging us that they want to fly somewhere nonstop to get to us.
Yeah.
And so we're looking west coast of Mexico and some other places too. Even in Africa, we have somebody showing us some land that's tied to a reserve in Kenya, although that's bit more further down the road.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So exciting, Ira. Thank you. Let's go to Danielle for a minute. So I'm going to pop Ira off for just a minute of the screen and we'll bring him back on in a minute. Okay. So that was exciting.
I love Ani. I love all of our partners, but Ani, it's just very unique. And I really enjoy on our side of the business, really educating an advisor on something that they don't know about. Advisors know so much more than I do when it comes to destinations and booking. So Ani was really a nice way to really present something that was different, that was something that everyone said, wait, I'm going to take notes. Tell me more. Yeah. So it's really just exciting to introduce to the industry a few years ago. And now they're just crushing it. Because everybody.
I mean, I don't know if a lot of advisors know how to utilize you as a resource. So let's go to you.
Perfect. Okay. And so this is something that
I'm just kidding.
This is something we do touch on a lot that, obviously everyone's just now met Ira and they have his phone number and they can absolutely call him and chat with him. And he's the CEO of Ani. Us being an extension of the team just kind of allows, if they had not met Ira or if they've just received a webinar or an update or a coffee with me, I am an extension of Ani. So to pick up the phone and call me to understand maybe what property is best for what client, and I can give my actual feedback into the properties. Also kind of educating them on who is right for them and who is not. I mean, I'd like to say that all of our DMCs are right for every advisor, but that's not true. Sometimes they're not. And so we're always very, very transparent. If is a specific client, I just really want to be able to talk with advisors about what's best for their clients. Make sure our clients are also doing what's best for the advisor. Trends are changing. Things are constantly changing. So we want our clients to be up to date. And I can only know that by chatting with advisors and having their feedback on what's best for them. So
are all your DMCs in the luxury space?
Yes. I like to say 4-star to rock star is kind of the way that we'd like to position them, because they're all absolutely uber luxury, have handled some mentionable A-listers. We're really proud of those fun bookings. But also, if you have a nice moderate 4-star booking, that's also okay. We just want to see a budget and know a little bit about the clients. And I'm 9 times out of 10, our partners can work with that. It's not always just the uber luxury, but they can absolutely handle that.
Yeah. So you're out. Why don't you tell advisors what you're out doing? I mean, and how we even connected. I mean,
yeah, that was so fun. I know. So I used to live in Orlando, Florida. But so because I'm in New York, pre-pandemic, we would spend a lot of time on the road. our term is like road warrior. And so we're always just bouncing around major cities, secondary cities, and also tertiary. That's something that Tyler and I pride ourselves that we try to cover a lot of the US. And so pre-pandemic, we were going to offices, meeting for coffees, really connecting with ICs. And then obviously during this time in the pandemic, it has opened up the digital space to be able to connect on Zooms and everything. And it's really just connecting with the veterans of the industry, reminding them of who we work with and just catching up. The new advisors to the industry, I love new advisors because I really feel like I'm being helpful to educate them on our clients' destinations. So we really are just making sure that the advisor knows all about our clients and all the details that they need. Some advisors say, I don't want to hear about Spain. Let's talk about Ani. And so it's really just being there to make sure they know about our clients.
Okay.
And it also comes with, look at all the trade shows and affiliations and partnerships. Like we also want to know what's best for our partners for Index Select. And so we do a lot of consulting, and I swear we do so much and we work super hard, but with the advisors, we just want to make sure that we're there for you, to support you.
Yeah, and you're pretty popular. I've watched people follow you, so get on, follow Danielle, and she's talking about good stuff.
Thanks. We're really, and I think age-wise too, I'm just going to kind of throw this out. Like the demographic of our industry has also changed, right? Like just kind of aging, and then there's like a little bit of a gap, and then it was the millennial space. So Tyler and I also kind of feel like we almost bridge that gap a little bit because we have great relationships with everybody. So maybe it's not that we relate more to millennials. Before, we used to kind of shy away from the fact that we were a millennial rep firm. In the beginning, 6 years ago, we're like, oh, nobody call me millennial. It's like bad. But then obviously with so many advisors in the millennial space, it's like, whoa, well, there's this whole boom that came, but we are still very close with advisors that have been doing this for 50 plus years. It's still relatable. So I also really enjoy that we are kind of sat in the middle of like the two age demographics.
Yeah. And I agree with you so much. I mean, there's people my age and older, the 50 plus crowd that are still selling. And the whole idea of using like an independent rep for an independent firm is not kind of a concept we had even 15 years ago. You're seeing a lot of breakouts of independence. And so, it's definitely an area to tap into because they're carrying some really great products. And, Ira's product, Avani, is one of them. So
we have a new way of doing things. Some people are definitely just in their way of what they'd like to do, and we understand and respect that. But some people really do want to understand a new. One of our DMC partners, he does Google Docs for itineraries, and it's live. So if you just want to jump on the phone and change something, it's live and it's a Google Doc. Yeah. It doesn't have to be if you don't want to, but I think that's very forward thinking. I think it's very easy. Yeah. And so, the partners that we do work with are pretty modern and up to date, and really trying to like pave the way for like an easier working process.
Yeah. Okay, so you know where to find her at the bottom of the screen. I'm bringing Ira back up for some closing words.
This was so fun. Thank you, Angela. This is so great. I'm really happy that we came on, and I love all of our partners, but we did highlight Ira because obviously that background, it looks fake, but it's not. I really do want to land in Anguilla, everyone. So I'll let you know when I do. You can all come to my house.
Yeah. I know we were sitting at breakfast and we're like, who should we focus on? And we're like, that one. So we could have chosen from a lot of different people. But Ira, any closing words for the show today?
Well, look, I thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. A little bit of our story. Love without all of our relations.
I think we'll lose him.
Did you lose me?
Ira. Yes.
We did not get that. You're frozen on our screen. Could we do that one more time? I don't know. We might have lost Wi-Fi with him.
Yeah.
Is it really you?
Shoot. Okay. We'll have Danielle wrap it up for us from Ira.
Okay, I will. Absolutely. So Again, thank you so much, Angela. Thank you to everybody that's watching. I'm really happy to have connected with everybody in this digital space and have all these new relationships. And thank you for the support. Whatever Index Select can do for you, for your clients, like that is the goal, to be here for you. So please call me, please email me. With Ani Private Resorts, know the properties and the concept like the back of my hand, truly an extension. So if you have any questions, Ira is so on top of it. That man doesn't sleep. He will pick up the phone and call you what the differences are between properties when you're choosing for your clients. So just let us know. Just stay in contact with us. We want to help you. We want to bring this industry back. So please just stay in touch and let us help you with your clients, and whatever we can do, we'd like to. So, and then Ira says thank you. He's also, just an FYI, he lives in Anguilla, as he said. We always joke that he's like the king of Anguilla. And I feel like he now is like, yeah, I'm the king of Anguilla. But I was also very helpful with anything else too. So if it's not about Ani, I would be happy to just like chat about Anguilla. Like, he's really, really great guy. So I hope that you can stay in touch with both of us.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much, both of you guys. And I'm sorry we just lost Ira there right at the end. But he's living the luxury life down there. I'm Angela Hughes. I'm the luxury travel entrepreneur. And thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Ira, for joining us today. And check in every Tuesday and some Thursdays. We have our program here on the Luxury Travel University, helping you guys grow more of your luxury travel market segment. So see you guys next week. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.